If you happen to get to a point as a student where you are putting in some work into this program, into your homework, but your scores aren't improving, this is a tough spot for everybody involved, right? Because we're all on the same side. Parents, students, teachers, we all want to see you as the student do better on these exams to reach your long-term goals for the future. So if your scores aren't going up, we're still all on the same side. We see the tests as feedback, right? So if what we're doing isn't working, and the practice tests are feedback as well, we see the practice tests that you take throughout the program as feedback. If what you're doing isn't working, we need to adjust something and try something different. The first thing we're going to suggest is a long, hard look at how hard is the student working on that homework. Again and again, it comes back to the amount of effort put into the homework. So to tie these concepts together, we start with your long-term goal. Even if you're having a hard time figuring out what school you might want to go to, what you want to study, simply figuring out where you don't want to go to school, simply figuring out that you want options when you apply to several schools is a big start, and something is a whole lot better than nothing. Granted, the more specific we can get with the goal, the better, but something is always better than nothing. Visit some schools, look at some schools on YouTube, learn about them, see what gets you excited. Somewhere in there is a goal that you will have for the future. And we're not here to judge those goals, right? If you want to go to USC because you like watching their football team on TV, which is a real goal that several students have mentioned in the past, that's fine. If it's something that will motivate you, that you can be passionate about, run with that goal, because we need you to make this a priority. Because 9 times out of 10, when a student's scores aren't improving, it really comes down to they're not holding up their end of the bargain with the homework at home. And granted, I'll be the first one to tell you, there are ways to fool your instructors that you are really doing the work. But we're trying to be completely transparent with how this works, because fooling the instructor that you did your homework so they will write you did 100% of it instead of 50%. What does it achieve? You're still going to have to take an official exam at the end. We're still going to find out where you're really at the end. So again, we want to prioritize learning over not getting in trouble or trying to pretend that you did the work when you didn't. You're not going to hear any judgment from your teachers if you were too busy to do your homework. It's far better to just tell them you didn't do it or you didn't do it thoroughly than it is to pretend that you did. And if your scores are not going up, we need to have honest conversations between student and parent, between director and parent, between teacher and student about what's really going on with the homework at home. Again, it's a 3-step process. Attempting the problems and just checking if they're right or wrong, you're only halfway done. Next, we need you to reattempt all the problems that you answered incorrectly or the ones you circled along the way that you weren't really sure about. Then a third time with the ones left over that you still couldn't figure out or you still didn't feel like you had mastery over. And this is why honesty is part of the process, because only you know if you really mastered that content. Then you check the explanations. Don't look at them while you tried to solve it the third time. Go through and work hard again at those problems. Only the handful of them that are left over that you truly can't figure out, those are the ones you bring back to the teacher. And I know I'm repeating myself from an earlier video when I talk about the homework steps. This is that critical. This is what 9 times out of 10 we come back to when a student's scores aren't improving. So I want this information out there ahead of time before we get to that point, so that we never end up at that point. If you jump in with the homework, get engaged and make this a priority because you want to reach your long-term goals for the future by way of raising these scores, your scores are going to go up. But the whole key is that you make it a priority and you put in that extra work that only you know if you did it.